Welcome to this first video in the video course on Word for Writing Academic Papers in English. This is the introduction to the course, and I will discuss page layout. This video presentation is written and presented by myself, Ajahn Roy, of the Naresuan University Graduate School. So the question is, why learn this? Why learn to use Word correctly? Well, first of all, I want to introduce you to an old-fashioned typewriter. This is an Imperial Typewriter, very popular model of typewriter 50 years ago. The functions of this machine include that you can type with it, you can physically backspace and overtype, you can do a line feed using the handle on the left here and pushing that handle. You can do return to the left-hand margin of the paper by again pushing on that handle. And that's it. Nothing else. And all the text is the same font, the same size, the same style, and the only thing you can change in the text is from uppercase to lowercase. And this is Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word is not a glass typewriter. It gives you a huge amount of typing, printing, formatting and spell checking capability. Using Word properly and fully will save you time, help you write correctly, allow you to properly format your document, and much, much more. So I'm now going to demonstrate to you the layout menu of Microsoft Word. As you can see, here is the main menu, and one of the selection options is layout, and when you press that, up comes this selection menu. So I'll load a paper, and here we have an interesting document which is actually the template for the Naresuan University Science Journal and the Social Journal, both of which are controlled by the graduate school. Here is the layout menu and a number of things I can do. First of all, I can set margins. That's the area around the side and top and bottom of the page, and you are offered a number of possibilities, but I want to set custom margins. So I click on that and up comes a menu. I'm indicating here that I want a top margin of 2.5 centimetres, a bottom 2.5 centimetres, 3 centimetre margin on the left and 2.5 centimetre margin on the right. This is set to 1 centimetre gutter, which I want to say, no, I don't want a gutter. Just to explain what that means is, it's a little bit of extra margin on the side of the page that will go into the binding fold, so that when it gets bound, you're not hiding any of the text. But for your papers, we don't need a gutter. And I want this to apply to the whole document. Okay. Now the next on the layout menu is orientation. Portrait or landscape. Now this is an example of portrait. If I set it to landscape, it goes that way. But we want portrait, which is the usual. Perhaps in your paper, when you have particular structures like tables and diagrams which are full width of the page, but you want margins, which I'll talk about in a moment, you will set different sections of your paper, which I will also talk about in a moment, and you will change the orientation for that particular section. Of course, the paper size, there are many different paper sizes, and the one we want particularly is A4. And also the possibility of setting columns. Now in this particular case, your paper, when you submit it, we will not need columns, but after the paper has been edited and has been reformatted, they will set 2 columns. So it sets the page up into 2 columns, as you can see here. Now I'm going to step back over setting columns, because I can use this particular little arrow up here to say go back to the way it was before the immediately last edit. Okay, so that removes the columns. Now what else do we have? I'll take the easy ones. Hyphenation. What is hyphenation? It's where either you manually or Word put a hyphen into a word so that it fits neatly on the page, or on the line, and the rest of the word after the hyphen starts the next line. Some journals want that. Some journals will do it automatically on your paper. In this particular case, we don't want hyphens. And you can set line numbers. I've just set line numbers here. Notice they are just on this side, but not here. That's because I've set line numbers for this section of the document, but not for this section of the document. And again, I'll explain that in a moment, sectioning your paper. Okay, what else do we have here? Breaks. Okay, so we can set a page break, which forces a new page, but I'll talk about that later when I'm talking about the insert menu. Columns, you can set a break for a column. The usual thing that you will be looking at in your paper is when you want to insert a break at the next page, and by clicking on next page break, that in fact forces a new page and the next section starts at the top of your new page. Or continuous, where you are setting a new section but you don't want a page break, you just want your text to continue. And by setting sections, that quite clearly breaks your paper up into editable sections where you can edit one section, you can set certain things like page numbering or whatever in a section that does not apply to any other sections. And basically, that's it for layout. I won't talk about the rest of this here, because I'll talk about it particularly when I'm talking about fonts and paragraphs. So that's it for doing the layout of your page. And I have just demonstrated how to do it for the NU Journal of Community Development and the NU Science and Technology Journal. And just to summarise, page size is A4, orientation is portrait, page margins, top, bottom 2.5 centimetres, left 3 centimetres and right 2.5 centimetres, with line numbers off and hyphenation off. So when you are submitting a paper for either of these two journals, then you should have these layout options set. But in any case, any document that you are writing, be it a paper for this journal or any other journal, or whether it's your thesis, any document, whatever, you need to set the layout parameters before you continue. So, thank you for viewing this video. You can download the PowerPoint slides for further study, although there's not many of them. And now you can go to video to view the video on setting fonts, formatting paragraphs, and defining and using styles. Thank you very much.